Welcome back to another video, and welcome back to July 30th afternoon edition of the second stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, in today's video, I specifically want to talk about two main things. The first one is, are there going to be larger stimulus checks? Donald Trump really wants them. And also, what is going on with the unemployment extension? Is there going to be one? Could we possibly see $2,000 per month as an unemployment boost? Well, I'm going to get to that in just a second. The first thing, as of right now, you have probably heard how poorly negotiations have gone between the Republicans and the Democrats. If you haven't, it's pretty much been everywhere. Republicans and Democrats cannot agree on a single thing. Also, it is because of these poor negotiations and the current timeline and where we sit. We only have about a week left of negotiations before the Senate goes on recess for 31 days. Now, it is because of this that the White House and other senators have been working and trying to step up and propose different options, more alternatives to this passing this one large stimulus package. So, what we know right now, okay, and this is very clear, is the current proposal in the HEALS Act and in the HEROES Act. Okay, the HEALS Act was proposed by Mitch McConnell and the Republicans, and the HEROES Act proposed and passed by the House. What we currently know is they are both calling for a one-time payment for filers for $1,200. However, Donald Trump said yesterday on the White House lawn that it may go higher than that actually. And it says, I'd like to see it go very high because I love the people. I want the people to get it. Now, with that said, how likely is a larger stimulus check? Because I know a lot of people are saying that there's no way there's going to be a larger stimulus check. And really, there shouldn't be a larger stimulus check if and only if the Republicans and the Democrats could agree on the current bill that is set in front of them. However, they're not agreeing on anything. So, how likely is this? First off, I want you to understand, at this point in the negotiation process, and again, with where we are currently at in the timeline, where we have about 7 to 8 days left of negotiations, nothing, and I repeat, nothing should be off the table when it comes to negotiations. If Republicans really want to get something passed, and they want, and Mitch McConnell has stated, this is a hard red line, he is not negotiating on this, that he wants liability protection for businesses. So if that's what he wants, Democrats could easily come back and say, well, we want $5,000 for every single filer, $2,500 for every single dependent, okay, and no cap. They could easily do that. They can ask for the moon if they want to. But what is going to get a deal done? And I say this, they can ask for anything simply because that seems like what's happening. Everybody wants their own agenda. They want to get their things passed. Mitch McConnell wants liability protection for businesses, right? Donald Trump, he's adamant he wants larger stimulus checks. I think larger stimulus checks are good. I think there needs to be some form of liability protection for businesses, but there also needs to be liability protection for the workers. There needs to be liability protection across the board. Nobody can say I have liability protection, so you can't sue me as a doctor or a business or a school, right? There needs to be some common ground, some middle ground that these senators can come to an agreement on. Also, yesterday, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin stated, we don't have an agreement on anything, which pretty much tells me that, okay, they are going into these meetings. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, or Charles Schumer, they go into these meetings with Mark Meadows, the White House Chief of Staff, and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin. They go into these meetings and they probably talk about different things. However, there's no agreement on anything because they are so far apart. So even if both parties come together a little bit, there is still a large gap that needs to be filled. So, how do we fill that gap? Well, what we know is both parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, both want unemployment and an extension on unemployment, and they both want to have a stimulus check sent to the American people. That's two things that they want, that they can agree on. Well, here's the problem, okay? Let me explain the problem right now. The problem is they are not going through negotiations quickly enough. American people are losing their homes. They are losing their jobs. They don't have any more money for savings. They still have to buy food and pay for certain expenses. But that can't happen if they have no money and no job to go back to. Let me tell you, let's talk about COVID-19 news for a second. Currently, COVID-19 cases are on the rise again. It seems like every single day, there's some days that we go down, other days we go up, and we go up a lot higher. That's a big issue. Also, today, it was stated that in the jobs report that an additional 1.4 million people filed for new unemployment cases. This was just last week alone. Now, that means that in the past 2 weeks, the rate has gone up. More people have filed for new unemployment benefits 2 weeks ago and then last week. So we'll see next week what happens for this week. However, it doesn't look good. And not only does the unemployment rate not look good, and we're getting more unemployed people every single week, but here's the problem. The biggest problem is the unemployment boost is set to expire tomorrow on July 31st. But that's not the only issue. The other issue is the benefits actually expired last Saturday and last Sunday. So because of that, even though they expire this week, nobody will receive that additional $600 per week on unemployment boost simply because that expired last week. The date is technically tomorrow, but that doesn't mean anything the way the benefits are actually paid out. So because of this, there are 3 senators that are pushing and pressing Congress to pass a short-term legislation. So Senators Mitt Romney, Susan Collins, and Martha McSally, all Republicans, introduced an alternative unemployment benefit today. Okay, they actually did this today. And this would prevent the gap in unemployment benefits. Now, there still might be a slight gap, even if something's passed today or tomorrow, but it should come very quickly. All right? So here's what this proposal simply says. Okay? It states that all states can choose which benefit option they want to go with. Do they want to go with a flat 80% wage replacement? And I feel that this just can't happen simply because it's going to take the states too long to actually be able to do that and offer that. Okay, so the other option, the other benefit, okay, there's 2 options, is $500 per week throughout the entire month of August. Then it will switch over to $400 per week for the entire month of September, and then it will drop to $300 per week for the entire month of October. And then I believe after that, then it drops to goes to the 80% wage replacement. So I think that's a great option. And that means that people on unemployment could still potentially get over about $2,000 just from the federal side, the federal unemployment boost. That doesn't even account for the state unemployment benefit. Okay, so that's big. Now, why is all this stuff important? Why do you care about this? Well, here's the reason why. As more people start pressing Congress to pass a smaller bill, okay, smaller pieces, and more pressing issues, what's going to happen is Congress is going to have to make a choice. Do they pass something and just agree with it and they're fine with that for now? Because they can always come back later and try to get more. Okay, pass another stimulus package. But Nancy Pelosi has been very adamant saying that they will not, and that's not just Nancy Pelosi, it's Nancy Pelosi, Charles Schumer, have both stated they are not going to pass a smaller bill. They don't want to piecemeal this whole thing together. And I get it. They want to make sure that the Democrats and other people have the best deal possible. However, the Republicans are trying to deal with this, and they are okay with passing smaller pieces. So there needs to be some type of common ground there as well. Can we pass the certain issues that are most pressing, the unemployment, the second stimulus check, and school funding obviously needs to happen, and also the last thing is the eviction moratorium. Can we pass those things? Can we pass those pieces of legislation quickly so that people are not being thrown out of their homes? People are not struggling to put food on the table. Schools can open. Can that be done? Well, we just have to wait and see if it can. Alright guys, that's all I have for you guys right now. Stay tuned for another video tomorrow on the second stimulus check update and the stimulus package update. Do me a favor, if you want to learn how to make money online. I did a video earlier today, a few hours ago, where I show you 5 online businesses to start for beginners in 2020. If you are new to making money online, go and watch that video. I'll link to it down in the description box below. So alright guys, thanks for watching this second stimulus check update, this late afternoon edition. If you have any questions on stimulus related matters or how to make money online, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, thanks for watching this video. Smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys on the next one.